Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. It is that time of the year when we take a look at all our characters. Today we are going to take a look at heroes. I'll make another video showing all my evil villains. So let's get this party started. So I thought I could start with our friend Saturday Night and Multiverse. Basically Saturday Night is pretty much my main character on PC, although it might not be as true anymore. I think I might have a character or two that's a bit higher level than Saturday Night. And if you are wondering why I have two characters at the same time, basically I have two accounts. I have a video where I explain the whole thing, but the short version is that at some point I have some friends who were playing on PC, so I created a PC account to be able to play with my friends, and there we go. And here you can see my multiverse character with various metallic materials, and our friend Saturday Night as a combination of the cosmic chroma and the cosmic material. And here I have a sort of future Kid Flash armory for my multiverse. And this is pretty much how my Saturday Night character was looking early on in the game. But as time went by and as I got more styles, I was able to upgrade the look a little bit. And last but not least, this is my Weapon Mastery armory. And next we have the Batman. Yes, I have two Batman characters. And basically way back when I had created my Batman character so that I could practice playing Legends PvE even when I wasn't in Legends PvE matches. Way back when, in order to be able to play Legends PvE, you could only do that in a Legends PvE match, meaning that you had to try to learn to play your character while someone else was beating the snot out of your character. So at some point I did, at the time we did not have the Legend practice room, so I basically recreated the Batman so that I could practice playing with my Batman character even outside of Legend matches. Here we have my troll armories. Also you can see I have the little bat drone with my PC account. Although for some reason I don't have the oval yellow Batman oval on my PC account. It's sad, but what can you do? And I did not get the long ear bat call from my PC account just yet. That's something I'll have to do at some point. And here I have a sort of Batman Beyond Armory. This isn't quite exactly a Flashpoint Batman Armory, but it's close enough, I guess. And these are my flying armories. Basically, one thing I would strongly suggest anyone playing this universe online, I would suggest to get a flying armory. There's various ways to be able to do that. I'll try to make a video about that when I get the chance. But basically you can see on the left my PC flying armory and on the right my PlayStation flying armory. Dang, the pets are getting crazy. So here you have my Superman and Superboy characters. Obviously I'm not going to show all my armories. I'm only showing the armories that I have access to. So this here is pretty much my classic Superman armory. And my Superman 1 million armory. For Superboy, I only have the two armories. And I sort of modeled it after Superboy from the 90s, but without the jacket. I guess I'm gonna have to try to get the Superboy jacket for my Superboy character, but it's going to be a tall order. And next we have my Wonder Woman characters. And yes, I have two Wonder Woman characters. Basically some of the styles are very, let's say, challenging to get, like the aura, the blue star aura. So basically, in order to be able to get some of the more difficult style to get, I had to recreate a Wonder Woman on PlayStation, even though I already had a Wonder Woman character on PC. Although on PlayStation I only have the one character, or the one armory I should say, but on PC I have a couple of Wonder Woman armories. So here obviously this is the Flashpoint Wonder Woman armory, and this here is pretty much a Donna Troy armory. It's not exactly it, but it's close enough, I guess. And next we have the Flash and Kid Flash. I could swear I have the same body size on both characters, and somehow Kid Flash seems to be a bit bigger somehow. I should probably use a smaller body size for Kid Flash. Might change it someday. So obviously Kid Flash is still, although he's not looking too bad, but he's still a bit in under construction, you could say. For the Flash, at some point I gave him the Cosmic Material, and here we also have the Phoenix Material. Although in retrospect, we didn't have the negative Speed Force material way back when. Otherwise, that's what I would have given him. Oh well. And this here is pretty much a classic version of the Flash. And I'm using the Wonder Woman material, the Amazonian material, in order to be able to get some nice red and gold like this. And last but not least, I did mention before that you should have a flying armor if you can. So this is the flying armory I have for my Flash character. And here I'm using a whole bunch of metallic materials. Actually the red metallic and the yellow metallic material. For Kid Flash, we need a better emblem. If we could get an official Kid Flash emblem, it would be great. But right now, the Flashpoint Flash emblem is one of the less bad options we have. And of course, I created a Green Lantern on both platforms. Although the one on PC, I made him into a Batman Green Lantern. Although I'm still working on it, especially my character on PlayStation. And even though I have a Batman Green Lantern, ironically enough, I don't think I'm using the Dawnbreaker style with my Batman Green Lantern. Although here you can see I'm using the Dawnbreaker emblem. Oh, actually my pants are on fire. I do have an armory with some of the Dawnbreaker style. I guess I didn't like the shoulders very much, so I kept the spindrift shoulders with the Dawnbreaker emblem. Although the Dawnbreaker should be an evil villain, what can you do? And of course, I had to have an Alan Scott armory. Actually, I have two Alan Scott armories. For Batman, I'm still working on it. And of course, with Alan Scott, once we got the sword for Alan Scott, obviously I had to use that sword. I had no choice. And at some point, I had to create a Manhunter, and I made it a Red Lantern. But let's show his lair just a little bit in this one case. So basically I have some sort of, I'm still working on decorating this lair. But I'm using the little thing here to create a sort of secret room where I can have my, let's say my fancy lair and my superhero lair all at once. And of course, I had to create a Hawkman type character. And again, I decided to combine it and have a Hawkman character that was also a Red Lantern. And of course, I had to make one of my armories the Paul Kirkman Hunter, and I had to make one of my armories the classic Hawkman. And sadly, I was starting to create way too many characters, so I had to combine them somehow. So I wanted to have a character, a Red Lantern character. I wanted to have a Hawkman character, so I made both one and the same. Here I tried to kind of tweak my Hawkman character with some of the other styles we had. I kind of like the look, but it's starting to get away from Hawkman a bit, so I might have to tweak it a little bit. That's another variation I tried to make for our friend Hawkman. I kind of like it, but it still needs some works. In the long run, I'll probably try to get the Wings of Sins for my Hawkman character. Like right now I'm using the glitter wings. We have quite a few options in order to get some nice wings for a Hawkman, but the Wings of Sins would probably be the better option. So in the long run, I'll try to get the Wings of Sins. And next we have the Paladin and Saint Walker. A question that I often get is, Multiverse, why don't you create your own characters? These are it. These are some of my very own characters that I created way back when. The same with Saturday Night that you saw early on. Of course, it's not exactly it. They don't look exactly the way I would like them to, but within the context of DC Universe Online, this is about as close as I was able to get. And of course, I knew that I had to have at least one of my characters that uses the skimming. And of course, I created my Martian Manhunter some time ago. Although you could already make a pretty good classic version of the Martian Manhunter, well now we have an official Martian Manhunter style in the game. As for Mr. Miracle, at some point I had a Mr. Miracle and an Orion character, but I had to simplify a bit because again I was starting to have way too many characters. So I pretty much combined my Mr. Miracle of Orion, and I created, I called him New God Prime. I probably should find a better name, but right now this will do. And next we have Dr. Fate and the Amazing Spider-Man. I created my Dr. Fate way back when, so when we got the Dr. Fate helmet, I was really happy about that. As for Spider-Man, I can already hear you ask, why would you create a Spider-Man character when I just played a Spider-Man game? And the Spider-Man game have like maybe 20 hours of gameplay. As opposed to DC Universe Online, you can play DC Universe Online to infinity and beyond. So that is why. Also, at the time way back when I created this character, the Spider-Man games did not exist just yet. And here I made a darker version of our friend Dr. Fate for my DPS armory. Although you could almost see that almost as a cross between Constantine and Dr. Fate, like seeing how he's wearing the Constantine emblem. I could easily imagine this being a Constantine that somehow ended up with the Dr. Fate helmet. And next we have our friend Daredevil and the Red Hood. For Daredevil, I'm a big fan of the black and yellow costume. I know that I'm in the minority here, but I love that costume. And I tried to make an Arkham Knight armory for my Red Hood character, and sadly this is the less bad option I was able to come up with. And of course, I had to make a Robin armory. I had no choice. Obviously, this is the Red Robin chest piece, but it's as close to the Robin chest piece as we have right now. And for Daredevil, actually I was able to recreate a fairly close version of Daredevil in the MC2 universe. And of course, I had to make a Batgirl and a Supergirl character. These are still characters in construction, I guess you could say. I had given Supergirl ice powers at first, but then at some point, somehow in this Supergirl had a storyline where she became a Red Lantern, so I had to make her a Red Lantern at some point. And here I made the sort of classic version of Supergirl within the context of DC Universe Online. I had given Supergirl a Wonder Woman armory so that I could show some Wonder Woman styles, but now that I have a Wonder Woman character on PlayStation, I'm going to give her a different armory soon. And when we got water powers, I had to create an Aquaman character. I had created also an Aqualad character, and I pretty much hated the results, so I'm gonna have to rework Aqualad a bit and recreate him at some point. But at this point, we pretty much have an embarrassment of riches to create our friend Aquaman in this universe online. We have the Aquaman hairstyle, the weapon, and a whole bunch of either Atlantean styles or even some nice materials to be able to recreate our friend Aquaman. And at some point I decided I wanted to have an ice-powered character on the hero side, and this is what I ended up with. I'm not too sure about it, I'm still working on it. Although I'm still experimenting a bit with the character. And this used to be my Phantom character, but again at some point I was starting to have way too many characters, and I wanted to have an ice character on the hero side, so here we are. And I'm trying to make also each armory is a bit different, where I try to get them to use different weapons. Oh yeah, I realized that one of the reasons why I did change this character, I wanted to have a character that uses skimming, and I wanted to have an ice character on the hero side, so here we are. And also I wanted to be able to use the Arctic material and the Arctic aura, but again, I'm still working on it. And here we have our Wildfire character. I wish I could get the boots and the gloves orange, like the orange of the metallic material. Oh well. Or I should say the roll chroma material. But this gave me also another opportunity to use the Scorching Aura. I love this aura. This probably has to be my favorite aura in the game. Although, I'm not sure about this material. I guess I'm still working on it. I kind of prefer this version, at least so far. And yeah, I understand that the emblem should be a star emblem, but I much prefer to use the Legion of Superhero emblem. So there we are. And here we have Beast Boy. We can create a pretty good version of Beast Boy in this universe online. And we can even have him summon his friend Cyborg if he wants to.
So, what's the move?
And of course, I tried to play a bit with the character. I'm still experimenting a bit with this character. So here I made a wolf-like version. And this here is my flying armory. And also it's sort of my bug armory. You can turn into a bug if I want to. At first I was using the bug to be able to fly, but the bug is a supercharge, so it takes a while before you can actually summon the bug. So at some point I bit the bullet and I gave him some flying powers. And also it gave me a reason to be able to use the hollow wings. I love those wings. And Beast Boy had quite a few different color schemes depending on the comic or the cartoons. But this here is pretty much my favorite version of the character. And last but not least, the Spectre. Here I pretty much created a classic version of the character. Although I had to tweak him a bit, I could not resist. I gave him the White Lantern emblem. I made a version sort of reminiscent of Blackest Night with the Black Lantern emblem. It's not exactly it, but it's close enough, I guess. And I made a version that looks like the evil Barbados. When I first saw the promo artwork for Dark Knight's Metal, I was certain that this was like the Batman mixed, that Barbados was the Batman mixed with the Spectre. Turns out, not really, but I kinda like the look it gives, so I kept this armory anyway. And a lot of work went into getting that freaking belt. I had to play the broker quite a bit in order to be able to get all the components to be able to upgrade the belt. So there you go, guys. So this pretty much covers all my hero characters for 2022. I'll try to make my villain video soon. And obviously, the next time we'll do this will probably be in 2023. I guess we'll have to wait and see.